Mitchell, you won the coin toss. We get to go first. Are you ready? All right, here's your first question. Darwin was writing about what? In some warm little pond with all sorts of ammonia and sulfuric salts, light, heat, electricity present, a proton compound was chemically formed, ready to undergo complex changes.
Abiogenesis.
The origin of life is what I'm looking for. No correct answer.
I'd like to contest that the abiogenesis is the generation of life from non-organic compounds.
What he said, John. All right, Mitchell with a contestant, or with a challenge. The judges have overruled. So yes, you are correct, Mitchell. 1-0 for Mitchell. Of course, statistically back to you. Although the British won more sea battles in the War of 1812, the victories by what U.S. ship, especially over HMS Java, became legendary in America?
Ironclad?
Said ironclad, she said. No, Ironside, old Ironside, or the USS Constitution. So no correct answer for Corsica Stickney. Mitchell, back to you. These following constructions are designed to reduce what natural phenomenon? Breakwaters, sea walls, groans, and jetties.
Flooding?
Erosion is what I'm looking for. No correct answer for Mitchell. Corsica Stickney, back to you. The invasion of what natural country between France and Germany in 1914 was one of the first acts of World War I?
Poland?
Luxembourg or Belgium, I would have accepted. So no correct answer for Corsica Stickney. Back to Mitchell. This excerpt is from what story? A stone hit her on the side of the head. Old man Warner was saying, come on, everyone. Steve Adams was in the front of the crowd of villagers with Mrs. Graves beside him. How is that, Mitchell?
The black box.
The lottery. We're looking for no correct answer for Mitchell. Still 1-0 Mitchell, back to Corsica Stickney. What kind of thinking is described in this excerpt by Orwell? To tell deliberate lies while generally believing in them, to forget any fact that has become inconvenient, and then, when necessary, to draw it back from oblivion for as long as it is needed.
Selective?
Double think is the correct terminology. No correct answer for Corsica Stickney. Back to Mitchell. The following is simonious with the title of what classical suite? The device to create fissures in the shell of a dried, indehiscent, hard-shelled fruit. The nutcracker. No correct answer for Mitchell. Of course, this ticking back to you. Mitchell leads it 1-0. For what does the abbreviation stand in this? Food is digested in the GI tract.
Gastrointestinal.
That is correct. Of course,
Yes.
this ticking, you've
Good
done
job.
that to 1-1. Back to Mitchell. Infection by the AIDS virus causes a shutdown of what body system?
The immune system.
You are correct, Mitchell. You're taking a 2-1 lead. Back to Korska Stickney. Through how many mainland European countries does the Arctic Circle pass?
That's a tough question.
4.
Is correct, Korska Stickney.
Good job.
You're tied 2-2. Back to Mitchell. Complete this statement. If D is E and Q is D, then Q is...
Q is E.
Q is E. You are correct, Mitchell. You've taken a 3-2 lead. Back to Korska
No
Stickney.
sneeze.
Again, playing to 6 for the championship. The purpose of gargoyles is to convey what?
Water.
Fear.
Water. No correct answer for Korska Stickney. Back to Mitchell with a 3-2 lead. The Great Australian Bight is contiguous with what ocean?
Indian Ocean, maybe.
The Indian Ocean.
The Indian Ocean is correct, Mitchell. You lead it 4-2.
Good job,
Back
guys.
to Korska Stickney. This contrivance used in placer mining is a wooden trough carrying a continuous stream of water into which miners shovel earth. Heavier particles such as gold sink to the bottom when they are caught by cleats or riffles. Name this device.
Is it a sleuth?
Say it again. Sleuth. Sleuth. That is correct, Korska Stickney. And it's 4-3. Back
Good job,
to
guys.
Mitchell. What form of government did Oscar Wilde say is simply the bludgeoning of the people, by the people, for the people?
Ouch. I was going to say democracy.
Democracy.
That is correct, Mitchell. You've taken a 5-3 lead. Back to Korska Stickney. The difference between the mean monthly temperature of the warmest and coldest months in the given region is the annual temperature what?
Let's say temperature shift.
Range.
Range is correct, Mitchell. Or Korska Stickney. You still trail Mitchell 5-4. Back to Mitchell. Correct answer here. You'll be our Quiz Bowl champion and receive $1,000. Here's your winning question, potentially. The Renaissance began as early as the 13th century. In what country? Mitchell, for the win, what would be your answer?
France.
Italy is what I'm looking for.
Yes.
We're leaving the door open for Corsica Sticky. A group of ants is a colony. What collective noun describes a group of whales?
Fleet.
A gam. G-A-M is what we're looking for.
Oh man, that's
Correct
a
answer
tough one.
for Corsica Sticky. Again, back to Mitchell for the win. Oli is twice as old as Lenore. Lenore is twice as old as Barbara. What is Lenore's age if the sum of their age is 35? For the win, Mitchell, what would be your answer?
6.
10. No correct answer for Mitchell. Corsica Sticky, back to you. Ocean waves do not transport water from one place to another because water particles move in a circular orbit when a wave passes. But, like all other waves, ocean waves do transport what?
Energy.
Is correct, Corsica Sticky.
Oh,
It's
good
now
job, tied up.
5-5. Back to Mitchell for the lead. What is the name for a part of the supplementary material at the end of a book?
Appendix.
Is correct, Mitchell. And you've taken a 6-5 lead over Corsica Stickney. Here we go, pretty easy. Corsica Stickney, you get this right, we go to a tiebreaker. You miss this, you get second place, Mitchell gets first place. Here is your tying question. What is the world's largest invertebrate?
Giant squid.
You are correct, Corsica Stickney.
Woo!
And we are
Good
tied
job.
6-6. Who wants to split the money and go home? No? All right. Again, tie-breaking question. I'm going to ask the question. If you know it, at any point during my question, you can interrupt me. I'll stop. Corsica Stickney, you all Corsica Stickney. Mitchell, yell out Mitchell. All right? If Corsica Stickney yells out your school and you get it wrong, I'll read the entire question to Mitchell. They have a chance to steal and win. Okay? Vice versa. All right? Here we go. What book in a stream of Concisionist style to a doctor depicts the relationship of school friends, teachers, girlfriends, a prostitute, siblings, and parents with Holden Caulfield?
Boy, that's what I've never read.
Anybody? Catcher in the Rye is what I'm looking for. Tie-breaking question number 2.
Actually, I think I have read that.
Richard Nixon was defeated in his bid to become governor of what state?
Corsica-Stickney.
Corsica-Stickney. What would be your answer for the win?
California.
California is correct.
Woohoo! All
We
right.
have a second winner-take-all championship. Stickney, you ready for your first round question? Scoring table, you ready?
Winner take all competition right now.
What, let me rephrase that, when an animal faces danger, an alarm reaction stimulates certain glands to release what hormone that prepares the animal for fight or flight?
Adrenaline.
Is correct, Corsica-Stickney, and you're leading it 1-0. Back to Mitchell. Name the science and business of producing fish and shellfish in controlled underwater environments. We don't like it when you say whoops at the scores tables. Okay? All right, thank you. Time is up, Mitchell.
No answer.
Aquaculture is what we're looking for. They had no answer there, by the way. Back to Corsica-Stickney, you lead it 1-0. What commonly abused substance is a diuretic, vasodilator, and dehydrator?
Sugar.
Alcohol is what I'm looking for. No correct answer for Corsica-Stickney. Back to Mitchell. What degree of comparison is used in this line from Moby Dick? Then all collapsed, and the great shroud of the sea rolled on as it rolled 5,000 years ago.
Comparative.
Positive degree. What I'm looking for. No correct answer for Mitchell. Corsica-Stickney, you lead at 1-0. In 2012, a 26,000 square kilometer raft of what kind of volcanic rock was spotted off New Zealand?
Obsidian.
Pumice. P-U-M-I-C-E. No correct answer for Corsica-Stickney. Mitchell, back to you for the tie. What notorious pirate had a base on the North Carolina coast?
Blackbeard.
Blackbeard is correct, Mitchell. You've tied the match up at 1-1. Again, playing for 6 for the overall championship. Back to Corsica-Stickney. Extra-legal law enforcement committees in the Old West had what name that was derived from a Latin word meaning to be watchful?
Vigilantes.
A deputy?
Vigilantes is what I'm looking for. No correct answer for Corsica Stickney. Back to Mitchell, we're tied 1-1. These are all last names of Americans who have held what cabinet position? Randolph, Pickering, Clay, Webster, Calhoun, Buchanan, Seward, Blaine, Hall, Dulles, Albright, Powell, and Rice.
Secretary of State.
Time is up, Mitchell.
Vice President.
Secretary of State. No correct answer for Mitchell.
Put the vice president.
Back to Corsica Stickney. Since good building land was scarce in Amsterdam, city authorities declared that building plots should be long, narrow strips, not more than 30 feet wide. Series of dwellings joined to one another were built on these sites that came to be known as what kind of houses?
Apartments?
Row houses. No correct answer. ROW houses. Back to Mitchell, we're tied 1-1. If the annual interest on $4,500 is $180, what is the annual interest of $7,500?
$300.
Is correct, Mitchell. And you've taken a 2-1 lead. Of course, get back to you for the tie. On an alphabetical listing of the elements, what is the last one with a chemical symbol consisting of just a single vowel?
That's tough.
Uranium?
Is correct, Corsica Stickney. And you've tied it up 2-2. Back to Mitchell for the lead. Ancient Sumerians may have developed one of the strongest basic architectural forms, a curved structure over an opening. Name it.
Arch.
Is correct, Mitchell. You've taken a 3-2 lead.
Come on.
Back to Corsica Stickney. Name any type of the Ceridian, the marine animals with bag-like or belly-shaped bodies and mouths surrounded by stinging tentacles.
Come on, you can get this. You can get this.
Jellyfish?
Jellyfish is correct, Corsica Stickney.
Good job.
And you've tied the match up 3-3. Back to Mitchell. Tommy Smothers is performing a trick called Around the World with his yo-yo. What force keeps the yo-yo pulling away from Tommy's yo-yo finger?
Centrifugal force.
Is correct, Mitchell. You've taken a 4-3 lead. Back to Corsica Stickney.
Another gimme for Mitchell.
Centrifugal force. Is that correct, judges? All right. Back to Corsica Stickney. It is 4-3, Mitchell. After the arrival of the conquistadors, it is estimated that between 60% and 90% of the population of the Inca Empire perished from what disease?
Smallpox?
Is correct.
Good job.
Corsica Stickney. It is now 4-4, back to Mitchell. Fred is 3 years older than Jane. The sum of both their age is 39. How old is Jane?
One is 18 and one is 21.
18.
Is correct, Mitchell. 5-4 in favor of Mitchell. Back to Corsica Stickney. Find the area of a square circumscribed about a circle whose radius is 10.
Empire Square. 314.15.
$400 units squared.
400 is correct, Corsica Stickney. 4 straight answer. It is 5-5. Back to Mitchell with the correct answer here. You will be our champion since you answered the second question to start the match. Here's your question. He was a sole survivor of a shipwreck near the mouth of the Orinoco River in Venezuela. He makes a comfortable home on an uninhabited island. Name this character developed by Daniel Defoe.
Seriously? Come on. That's a gimme.
Mitchell, for the win, what would be your answer?
No answer.
Robinson Crusoe is what I'm looking for. No correct answer for Mitchell. Back to Corsica Stickney with the correct answer here. You'll take the lead at 6-5. Here's your question. What type of oil was the principal illuminant until it was replaced by petroleum?
Whale or sperm oil?
Kerosene.
Whale oil is what I'm looking for. No correct answer for Corsica Stickney. Again, back to Mitchell. Correct answer, you'll win. What is the term for the covering of the forest that consists of the uppermost level of tree branches?
That's another gimme.
The canopy.
The canopy is correct, Mitchell, for $1,000 and our Quiz Bowl champion here this year. Second place goes to Corsica Stickney.
You guys lost
And
my
thanks
easy
to
one.
everybody who came. Thanks for our teams. Thanks to the sponsors. stick around, take some pictures, and collect your checks here today as well. Thank you for coming.
Way to be sportsman about it. Good job.